Long-range U.S. missiles against targets deep inside Russia now by firing a new kind of medium-range ballistic missile into Ukrainian territory. Putin is calling the move a warning to the West. Comes after President Biden this week authorized.
Yo, what? This is insane. I do want to say, yo, instead of just dealing with the results of the election and, you know, not making things extremely hard for the next administration, Joe Biden, I feel like, is doing a terrible job, you know, of, if you look at public opinion on him right now, I would think it's crazy low. Just looking at different comments and how people are looking at this, like, why are you giving Ukraine permission to send long-range missiles into Russia months away from an inauguration for the next president? That is ridiculous. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see y'all coming in. This is crazy. But Fox News, shout out to them. They got a title headline saying Putin vows to respond decisively to further escalation. Let's listen to this.
Russia's responding to Ukraine's use of long-range U.S. missiles against targets deep inside Russia now by firing a new kind of medium-range ballistic missile into Ukrainian territory. Putin is calling the move a warning to the West. Comes after President Biden this week authorized the use of U.S.-made long-range missiles for Ukraine to strike inside Russia's Kursk region for the first time. General Jack Keane points out that Putin's specialty is combining just this kind of kinetic action with psychological warfare. Listen.
He's forced the Biden administration never to give the Ukrainians what they wanted when they wanted it.
Shout out to I'm Just Vet. He's a member in here. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you.
And it protracted the war. So Putin keeps coming. And that's what this is all about.
What's up,
Russia fully intends, after the Ukraine is finished with, to expand into Europe. And all the European nations know that.
Well, senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palcott's tracking the latest developments. Greg, what can you tell us this morning?
Jillian, just over 1,000 days into this war, and it's getting riskier all the time. More shockwaves from yesterday's strike by a brand new kind of Russian intermediate-range super-fast missile. It caused some damage and casualties in the Ukrainian city of...
Like, what do y'all think about this? Like, it sounds kind of crazy to say, you know, but it seemed like they've been just nudging at Vladimir Putin for years, and he's been trying to make peace, and they just, I don't know, man. The United States, I think, is getting kind of wild, man. What y'all doing? What we doing?
Territory of Russia. Moscow basically saying anything you can do, we will do, with an even bigger punch. Russian President Putin on TV last night saying, in the event of an escalation of aggressive action...
Bro, this don't seem like we getting ready for World War III, y'all. Yeah, hit the like button. I could see y'all, man. Shout out to Respect VA. I see you in here. LA Live in here. Kenneth Cole in here. Rob the Barber in here. Shout out to you. Like, this don't seem like they're getting ready for World War III. It does to me, bro.
He will respond decisively and reciprocally. His spokesman adding today the actions by the U.S.
And, I mean, to be real, like, if he ended up launching missiles into U.S. facilities... You know, the United States gave Ukraine permission to use long-range missiles. However he chooses to respond now. What's going on, PGZ206? He's a member in here too, man. Appreciate you, bro.
And its allies were reckless, noting Russia had demonstrated its capability.
Respect VA with the $2 donation. Appreciate you for sponsoring this, man.
And could do more. An indication of the nervousness for the first time since the war started. A session of Ukraine's parliament.
And Zelensky, I feel like, is just, dude, they got a battery in this dude's back. They sending him on dummy missions, bro. And he going ahead and he doing all of this. Like, he don't even understand what he's doing.
Canceled due to fears of another attack. Yesterday's Russian missile carried conventional warheads, but could be nuclear armed. Yet another message. And remember, earlier this week, the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv was shut down out of security concerns. Diplomatic voices around the world speaking out today. The Prime Minister of neighboring Poland said the threat of a global conflict is serious and real. China, of all countries, calling for calm and restraint. And Jillian, as for North Korea, which has been adding to all the tensions by sending some of its troops to fight alongside the Russians, said the U.S. is stoking tensions, and they warned of a nuclear war. A lot of talk and some very dangerous actions. Back to you.
took a bait.
I mean, I think Russia ended up lowering the requirements to go to nuclear war, which means that if agitated, they can just go ahead and do it if they need to. But I don't think they're gonna really try to do nuclear war right now. I think Ukraine is too close to them. You know what I mean? Because the fallout is gonna be immense. So yeah, I mean, it sounds good, but I think they're gonna try to avoid nuclear war as much as they can.
Beijing weighing in there. Got to leave it there, Greg.
Oh, the live stream is choppy. Yeah, try to refresh it. If it's still choppy, let me know, man.
Greg, thanks so much. John.
All right, so let's dig deeper on this now. General Keith Kelloggs, a former national security advisor and Fox News contributor. It's been a minute, General. Welcome back from the campaign trail.
Good to be back.
So Ukraine's ex-top general says World War III has begun. I'm sure that he would like the world to believe that so that the Allies throw in with Ukraine. But do you really see it that way?
No, I don't think World War III has begun, but we're right on the precipice. I mean, it's right there. And what I mean by that is when you look at what's happening, look at the alliance, what President Trump kept apart. He had North Korea over here, he had China over here, he had Iran here, and he had Russia over here. And what you've seen them now is they've all joined. You've got an axis together, and they're feeding off one another. Just in June, Russia signed a self-defense pact with North Koreans. So now, for the first time in its history, North Korea has exported fighters into Russia, between 10 to 30,000.
Brandon Bolton said Putin called before he sent the missiles to make sure the U.S. knew it wasn't nukes. Louis H. said Trump said Kim Jong-un says he has a red button on the desk to release nuclear bombs, and Trump said he has a bigger red button. That happened a while ago. Yeah.
North Koreans are now fighting. You're seeing
Trump said I got a red button on my desk, but mine is bigger and it's more powerful than yours, and it works. Yo, Trump wasn't playing. Trump knew what was bro. They knew not to play with Trump, bro. Notice all of this happens when Trump gets out of office.
Use of an intermediate range ballistic missile that can be nuclear tipped, being shot at Dnipro, a city of around 900,000. So you're seeing this thing starting to build. And that, I think, internationally is going to be President Trump's biggest thing he's going to have to solve, which is the fight there in Ukraine and Russia, which happens to be.
And we all sitting comfortably on our phones, on the computers, chilling, and they going through chaos over there, man. It's crazy. These warlords, bro. They will put you in harm's way quick, and they'll all just be making phone calls, sitting back, smoking cigars, chilling in rocking chairs and recliners. You know what I mean? In their nicely pressed suits, while you out there in the trenches, and people shooting missiles at you, bro. It's crazy.
The largest land war in Europe since the end of World War II. Yeah. So it's massive. So,
bro, I don't care what the draft ages are. I ain't going. If it's necessary, right? Yeah, I go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think I'm past that age anyway. But I'll probably enlist. You know what I mean? If it's something they coming at us for no reason. But if we provoke it, if we're provocateurs, you know what I'm saying? If we're provoking them. Why? Nah, bro. I ain't going.
And John, you know this. A simple spark can spin things right out of control, and without even trying out there. And
you assassinate one archduke, and suddenly.
Yep, absolutely.
Good, touche. General, talk to us about this new sort of sophisticated.
And then they say Trump was the one that's dangerous. And look at the Biden administration, bro.
Weapon that Putin is now. He launched some kind of. Medium-range ballistic missiles with a lot of warheads on it into Ukraine. Can you talk to us in layman's terms what it does and how alarmed people should be about it?
It's an intermediate-range ballistic missile based off range, and it's got MIRVs on it, multiple independent reentry vehicles, so more than one warhead. It can
Meaning they can split up and hit a whole lot of targets.
They will break off and hit multiple targets. And again, it can be.
Man, Putin's not gonna do that, bro. Y'all, I mean, I rock with y'all Fox News, but he ain't about to be doing all that, bro. It's not necessary. As soon as he gets like probably information that Ukraine's about to go nuclear, then he ain't about to just go nuclear. Y'all got to think about this, bro. You got the United Nations. Everybody's paying attention to this. Everybody's paying attention to this, right? If he ends up using nukes on them and they're not doing that, bro, like it's all out war at that point. You know, that's crazy bullying at that point. You know, like he ain't like Putin's smart, bro. Like he's a strategist. Like I don't think he would do that, man. I know they talking, they trying to like, you know, get more airtime and get more news out of this. Putin, like from what I read about him, bro, like I rock with Putin, bro. Like
missile.
I do, bro. Like I don't know, man. I think our military be like, or our news be low key capping, bro. They low key be. Our news be capping, bro, because he ain't really like how they be describing him, you know. So I don't know, bro.
Name is Steve Ram. Y'all make sure y'all go support his page, and let's get down to the nitty gritty. All right.
Developing news coming out in the last 24 hours that North Korea is saying they're preparing for potential nuclear war or thermonuclear war, and they are accusing Joe Biden of trying to start World War III. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is Joe Biden trying to start World War III? If so,
I don't know. This dude got a Video Mic Pro as a microphone. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Let me show y'all something real quick. Hold on, bro. I don't trust this dude, bro. Hold on. Hold on. Bro. What is you doing, bro? Like, this is a microphone right here that you supposed to be. Bro, this is a Video Mic Pro. A Video Mic Pro like goes on the camera, like you hook it up to the camera. You do not be having a Video Mic Pro like this, bro. I ain't believing nothing you saying, bro. Wait a minute. Bro, how you gonna come on here with a Video Mic Pro like that, bro? This dude didn't. Y'all got to be careful who y'all get y'all news from, bro. Just because he got this, that don't mean like he know everything. Like this dude right here with this Rode mic, this Video Mic Pro, bro. What is you doing, bro? Like, get a mic.
drop a 3, if no, drop a 4. But take a look.
This is supposed to be hooked onto a camera, bro. This dude is wilding. You wildin', bruh. Somebody said it's about global positioning. My bad, y'all. I'm not trying to be immature. Like what is you doing, man? As soon as he came onto the screen like that, I'm like, nah, bro. I'm second guessing everything you about to say to me right now. I'm second guessing everything, bro. My bad. He got a Video Mic Pro on a mic stand. I'm just a vet. You see this? We not doing that, bro. We not doing. Wait a minute. What you doing, bruh? No, he didn't.
Look at the latest headlines coming out in the last 24 hours. North Korea warns the United States of thermonuclear war. You can see.
I mean, it's my bad, Brandon. Both. It's a decent microphone. But this ain't like this is not like a podcasting mic at all. This is like if you just shooting something and you want a mic that's a little bit better than a microphone that comes on the camera. You don't put this mic on a mic stand. This dude wilding, bro. My bad. He got the yard sale mic. Trying to give serious news with the yard sale mic. What? My bad, yo. The Video Mic Pro, it ain't, I mean, it's cheaper than this. But it ain't, what's this, like $300 or something like that? But hey, Eve, he thugging it out.
This coming out just yesterday. Now, what's the difference? Well, thermonuclear war, it's more powerful than nuclear weapons, with explosive yields of thermonuclear bombs measured in megatons, while the explosive yield of nuclear weapons is measured in kilotons. Thermonuclear weapons are also more compact and have a lower mass.
Bro, why is you just sitting there reading about thermonuclear weapons? Like, say something else, bro.
Than nuclear weapons. In other words, a more efficient, more effective way of doing nuclear warfare. That is what Korea is currently warning of. And take a look at more headlines.
All right, so the AP, I can believe this. North Korea leader says past diplomacy only confirmed U.S. hostility. Okay, so where you getting, like, they about to do nuclear war at? Like, where you getting that at, bro?
North Korean leader says that the past diplomacy only confirms that the United States is hostile. They are the hostility, and we are hearing North Korea saying Joe Biden is trying to start World War III, but he is not the only one. We are hearing this all over the world.
This dude, bro. I mean, he is right about that. I feel like Joe Biden is trying to start World War III. Let me see. Let me go to AP News, bro. All right, North Korea. North Korea Kim Jong-un calls for expanding his nuclear forces in the face of alleged U.S. threats. When was this? Yo, AP News, y'all supposed to have, like, the date this was done. Why is there no date? Where's the date? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't see no date on there, bro.
World with headlines coming out accusing the U.S.
All right, so everybody has different. Craig Wilson, I know, man. Like, I got a lot of microphones, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like I've never seen in life somebody like put a video mic pro on a mic stand and do a blog. Like, I've never seen that ever, bro. Because that's not what this mic is for. And it's not supposed to be right up on you like that. You're not supposed to have, like, bro, there's like 3 different we gonna get back to the news, not to digress. It's like 3 different settings for it, right? You're not supposed to have it right. Like, this mic is supposed to be like at a distance. You know what I mean? Like, it's not supposed to be right up on you like that. This dude is wilding out, man.
Of starting World War III. And do you agree? Is Joe Biden starting World War III? Take a look at this. Joe Biden just invited World War III by greenlighting long-range missiles against Russia. A lot of people saying that this was the red line that Russia had warned.
Here's my thing, right? Every day we getting closer and closer to World War III, right? Some of us witnessed the use of a weapon.
No, I'm not trying to clown this setup. I mean, I guess I did, but I mean, you can't be coming on here like trying to give serious news with some video mic pro, bro. Like, people don't know what that mic is used for.
That was pretty scary.
Eve said she's a member. Y'all join the membership. Stop playing, bro. Shout out to Eve. Said it's like the Bible and Nostradamus stuff is playing out right here in our lifetime. Things are crazy. Exactly.
Like,
but I do feel like Joe Biden is trying to inch us closer to like World War III, bro. Because Putin's very smart. I don't care what nobody says, bro. Like, he's very smart. He knows what they're doing. But if they keep playing, like, Putin ain't no punk, bro. Like, he knows not to, go all out with nuclear, right? Like, he knows that, but they keep playing with him. Watch.
Part you're not getting. I said a weapon that's pretty scary.
The Ukrainian Air Force saying Russia has fired an intercontinental ballistic missile.
We're on the verge of World War III in 2 locations on the Biden-Harris watch, and it's coming in the last 2 months before President Trump gets in office, and this is outrageous.
If true, this would be the first known use of these powerful nuclear-capable missiles, and this as the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv has reopened following an urgent...
Now, the missiles that Putin's going to end up using, they're capable of carrying, like, nuclear stuff. Like, they can do it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he's going to use nukes. You know what I'm saying? He'll use the missiles, but he won't like put nukes on them. You see what I'm saying?
Warning that Russia might launch a significant air attack on the capital city. Tensions remain high in the region after Ukraine used long-range British missiles and American-made ballistic missiles to strike Russian territory for the first time.
Once again, we're on the verge of World War III right now because Putin has said that there was a red line. He said that if we allow Ukraine to attack directly long-range missiles into Russian territory, then that was a red line, and that he threatened nuclear action as a result of that. And look, we also have the Iranians.
I don't know. What y'all think about all this, bro?
Nuclear tip. But they only used one, and it's basically a class of what they call truck-mounted intermediate-range ballistic missiles that they've got there. He's used it for psychological reasons, and Jack Keane made a great comment on that. He didn't use it because it was militarily effective, because it hit a city, not very much damage there at all. But he's kind of saying to the West, well, see what I can do. And this is one where people have backed off. President Biden's backed off. When the minute he said IRBM, ICBM, nuclear war, we said, oh my gosh, we can't go there. That's when you need to lean in, because he is not, he meaning Putin. He will not start a nuclear war in Europe. And you'd remind him, let me make sure you understand. The Brits have nuclear weapons. The French have nuclear weapons. We've got nuclear weapons. Don't go there.
Bro, let me show y'all something, bro. Because people think Putin's the bad guy. This is why I don't think Putin's the bad guy, bro. Let me show y'all something. I'm gonna let this dude talk. He's gonna give y'all a history lesson on Putin, bro. If I could find it.
Not an attack by Putin on Ukraine in the way that we are told every day. This started in 1990, February 9th, 1990. James Baker III, our Secretary of State, said to Mikhail Gorbachev, NATO will not move 1 inch eastward if you agree to German unification, basically ending World War II. And Gorbachev said, that's very important. Yes, NATO doesn't move, and we agreed to German unification. The U.S. then cheated on this, already starting in 1994.
Bro, he's about to break down how the United States are actually the agitators in this. It's not Putin like we've all been led to believe. I'm not saying I'm just saying that he's got a different perspective than what you may be hearing, you know, and I'm rocking with his perspective on what's going on, bro. Like, I don't like all this, the media, like trying to put all this propaganda out. Like, bro, I believe what this dude is saying.
When Clinton signed off on basically a plan to expand NATO all the way to Ukraine. This is when the so-called neocons took power. And Clinton was the first agent of this. And the expansion of NATO started in 1999 with Poland, Hungary, and Czech Republic. At that point, Russia didn't much care. There was no border other than with the Königsberg, but other than that, there was no direct threat. Then the U.S. led the bombing of Serbia in 1999. That was bad, by the way, because that was a use of NATO to bomb a European capital, Belgrade, 78 straight days to break the country apart. The Russians didn't like that very much. But Putin became president, they swallowed it, they complained, but even Putin started out pro-European, pro-American, actually asked maybe we should join NATO when there was still the idea of some kind of mutually respectful relationship. Then 9/11 came, then came Afghanistan, and the Russians said, yeah, we'll support you, we understand, to root out terror. But then came 2 other decisive actions.
But if you following along what he's saying, he's like, yo, like Putin's on the side of anti-terror and all of that. Like he's rocking with the U.S., right? But then he's going to get into some things that's going to make it like, yo, if you Putin, bro, you ain't about to keep, America, y'all ain't about to keep trying me, bro. Like, I'm trying to like roll with y'all, like, and y'all doing too much right now, bro. Well, listen to him.
In 2002, the United States unilaterally walked out of the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty. This was probably the most decisive event, never discussed in this context. But what it did was trigger the U.S. putting in missile systems in Eastern Europe that Russia views as a dire, direct threat. In 2000,
hold on real quick. Code.Carter, shout out to you. You a member on the channel, man. I appreciate you, bro.
4-5, we engaged in a soft regime change operation in Ukraine. But in 2009, Yanukovych won the election and he became president, and in 2010 on the basis of neutrality for Ukraine. That calmed things down because the U.S. was pushing NATO, but the people of Ukraine on the opinion polls didn't even want to be in NATO. They knew that the country is divided between ethnic Ukrainian, ethnic Russian. What do we want with this? We want to stay away from your problems. So in February 22nd, 2014, the United States participated actively in the overthrow of Yanukovych.
Wow.
A typical U.S. regime change operation, have no doubt about it. And the Russians did us a favor. They intercepted a really ugly call between Victoria Nuland, my colleague at Columbia University now, between her and the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, Jeffrey Piat, who's
So Vladimir Putin, there he goes, helping America again. Like, even though we got all this propaganda on him, he's been helping America again. Like, so just pay attention and follow along with what this dude is saying, bro.
a senior State Department official till today. And they talked about regime change. They said, who's going to be the next government? All of this is to say, the U.S. then said, okay, now NATO's really going to enlarge. And Putin kept saying, stop. You promised no NATO enlargement. It's been, by the way, I forgot to mention, in 2004, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Bulgaria, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, 7 more countries in the not 1 inch eastward. And then, okay, it's a long story, but the U.S. kept rejecting the basic idea, don't expand NATO to Russia's border in a context where we're putting in goddamn missile systems after breaking a treaty. 2019, we walked out of
So imagine if you Russia, right? United States breaks a treaty and then like you telling them you don't want them to expand NATO, right? And they've got like missiles like around there, but you telling them like don't expand NATO, like I'm helping y'all, like just don't keep expanding NATO, and they keep doing it anyway. Like, and then you Russia, you trying to help America, like on, you know what I'm saying? Like he broke that down to you. So it's like, where are you guys' good faith here? Like that's what they not gonna put in the news.
The Intermediate Nuclear Force Treaty. On December 15th, 2021, Putin put on the table a draft Russia-U.S. security agreement. You can find it online. The basis of it is no NATO enlargement. I called the White House that next week after that, begging them, take the negotiations. Putin's offered something, avoid this war. Oh, Jeff, there's not going to be a war. Announce that NATO's not going to enlarge. Oh, don't worry, NATO's not going to enlarge. I said, oh, you're going to have a war over something that's not going to happen? Why don't you announce it? And he said, no, our policy is an open door. This is Jake Sullivan. Our policy is an open door policy. Open door for NATO enlargement. That is under the category of bullshit, by the way.
Hey, yo, Brandon Bolton said the United States has always kept their treaties. Just ask the Native Americans. Yo, bruh, like, you see what I'm saying? United States, I mean, it's our country, but we be playing dirty, man. Somebody said, look at the map. Hold on. So, Russia, Ukraine, Crimea, right? And I think like that is like Russia's anyway. Like y'all not about to. And then somebody said it in the chat like the last time we was live talking about politics. Like, just imagine if Texas was like, nah, we don't want to be a part of the United States no more. Like, we want to be a part of Mexico. Or no, you know what? We just want to be our own. We don't want to be a part of the United States no more. What you think the United States gonna do? Be like, all right. No. I feel like Russia is just reclaiming their land. That's what I feel like it is. Thug life. Like Putin tired. Like he like, no, this is our land. Y'all keep trying to expand NATO. Y'all playing games. Like, nah, bro, we ain't doing this no more. Like, we want our land back. Biden weak, can't even walk up the stairs anyway. Like, we don't care. I want my land back. And I think he within his rights, bro. I don't, y'all get mad at me. Thug life. Like, I mean, it was theirs. Like, when he was breaking down, like, I heard him, I forget where he was talking, but he was basically saying it's like they land. You know, and then you read about it, it's his land. Like, it used to be Russia's. Like, you can't just tell us you don't want to be a part of Russia. Like, and think that's just how it's gonna go. No. Like, no, you can't say, oh, Texas, you don't want to be a part of America no more. All right, but like, ain't about to do that. All that tax money and revenue, they not about to do that, bro. They ain't about to let Russia go succeed. Like, nah.
There.
You don't have your right to put your military bases anywhere you want and expect peace in this world. They turned down the negotiations. Then the special military operation started, and 5 days later, Zelensky says, okay, neutrality. And then the United States and Britain said, no way. You guys fight on. We got your back. We don't have your front. You're all going to die. But we got your back.
Yeah, and he's shaking. Zelensky's up here shaking heads with all these, like, warmongers. You know what I mean? Like, people that's putting a battery in his back, and he out here, like, don't even know what's going on. He think he, like, fitting in with them. These dudes don't care about you, Zelensky. This dude's setting you up. One of them. He thinks they finally gonna be a part of something. Like, nah, bro, you don't understand. You being used. You a tool in this whole situation. And your people out here on the front lines get murked, and they just sending you, like, you know what I mean, printing some money, sending y'all money, and y'all, you know what I mean, out there in your city. Like, how many have passed, like, 100 and something thousand people no longer here, like, over this? This is crazy.
The special military operation started, and 5 days later, Zelensky says, okay, neutrality. And then the United States and Britain said, no way. You guys fight on. We got your back. We don't have your front. You're all going to die. But we got your back as we kept pushing them into the front lines. That's 600,000 deaths now of Ukrainians since Boris Johnson flew to Kyiv to tell them to be brave.
What y'all think about that? It says, including 6 deaths during the 2014 annexation of Crimea by the Russian Federation, 14,400 military and civilian deaths during the war in Donbass, and up to 1 million estimated casualties during the Russian invasion of Ukraine till mid-September 2024. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy. And then, like, he don't even know, like, you shaking hands with these dudes, bro. People like him, like, and oh my, it's is sickening, man. And he don't even know what they doing. He just want to be a part of a club. Like, they will never let you really.
And we haven't really said that to him. So it's kind of a psychological play. And I think Jack Keene's got it right. So he's kind of up the ante in weaponry, just like Zelensky upped the ante when he went into the Kursk region with the long-range missiles. He attacked them in the,
So everybody's wondering why Biden suddenly gave permission to Ukraine to launch these attacks deeper into Russian territory. Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about that yesterday at the briefing and gave a typical answer. Listen here.
For a long time, the White House argued that using these long-range...
Yeah, I need y'all to hit the emojis, the likes, double tap the screen, all of that. I think we got like 25,000 views on the video. Keep hitting it because we got to break through the algorithm, y'all.
Attacking missiles into Russia to attack targets inside Russia would escalate. The war would really invite retaliation. Why change the policy now?
I'm just not going to get into specific about.
Yeah, you're not gonna get into the specifics right now because y'all under scrutiny. This is ridiculous. What is y'all doing? We got problems at home, and they try to keep this war going. Why? Putin obviously wants to end it. He wants to talk to Trump. They're like, nah, we ain't gonna end it. Let's give them more money and weapons and give them permission to go and launch long range at Russia. Like, why is y'all doing this, bro? Y'all is out of y'all mind. And you don't want to answer the question.
Invite retaliation. Why change the policy now?
I'm just not going to get into specific about Ukraine's operation.
That's why, like, on Twitter, they be putting a clown face on her, bro. When she talk, like, they be going in on her on Twitter, and they be having a clown face on her while she talking. She a clown, bro. I don't care if she is a clown. Y'all see, everybody in here see what they doing. You can tell what they doing.
It's not something that I'm going to do today, but I want to be really clear.
I guess I'm asking about the specifics of the White House's decision to change policy.
I'm just telling you that I'm not going to get into specifics from here from the podium.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like big corporations. You see what I'm saying? Like trying to get their companies in Ukraine. I don't know, man. Like this is like, who is the handlers that's got the strings? Like, I don't know, man.
So that's what we've kind of gotten used to, saying nothing about everything. But why now? I mean, he's left this pile of dog, you know what, on Trump's doorstep.
Kevin said Ukraine not a good country either. Ukraine was beautiful before all this started. Musterator said, I'm with Russia. U.S. overstepped by spreading NATO. That's what I think, bro. I think U.S. is out of line. Mark Maserati said to get for the Harris loss. Oh, they getting a get back for the Harris loss. Dimension said play the video. Man, I gotta react to it. I can't play it like Dimension Divers. You can go watch it, but if you just play a video all the way through and you don't stop it and talk and don't react, then your video gets cut. You see what I'm saying? Or you get like hit. It's called like copyright. You can get hit with copyrights. But when you react to it, like you might not know, I'm not coming at you. But when you react to it, it's fair use. You see what I'm saying? So every once in a while, like with most reactors and stuff, you'll see them stop. Like if you look at my videos, I'm able to do a lot of content across the board, talk about a lot of different things and show you a lot of different things because I stop and I react to it. Most people can't do that because they don't do that. You see what I'm saying?
You know, John, here's what I'm really hoping. I'm hoping that Jake Sullivan talked to Michael Waltz, who's the incoming National Security Advisor, or President Biden has talked to President Trump and said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm really hoping that happens because what he has done, Biden, through his action, he's actually given President Trump more leverage.
Really?
Because now he can pull back, he can go left, he can go right, he can do something. And I think what he did is he basically said, well, this is what I want to do. And I'm hoping there's something to this. I don't know. But it does give the President Trump more ability to pivot from that.
Oh, that's interesting. All right.
Just one quick question before we let you go. We have like 5 seconds, General. But so you're not buying the White House's, the Biden administration's justification that they approved these new long-range weapons because of the North Koreans on the ground inside Ukraine?
It sounds good, but Jillian, what I'm really hoping is there was another reason to it, which gives leverage to President Trump. Maybe that may be a good reason to do it. Look, they should have been doing this a year ago, but they've basically pulled back. You don't fight a war allowing other countries to have sanctuaries. If you're going to fight a war, you fight a war. And we've basically pulled back on letting Zelensky fight a war that he should have been fighting a long time ago. And
interesting.
Casualties are horrific.
Yeah, of course.
But the advantages that he had this last summer are not there anymore. He meaning Zelensky.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, we haven't heard from Trump on the use of the attack.
And I think it's real. My thoughts.
Trump made a statement about it. Hold on, let me see. Let me see, because I think he ended up saying Trump's World War III speech.
Joe Biden.
This may be old though. Let me show you this.
Joe Biden, the world has become vastly more dangerous, and there is no greater danger than the deadly menace of nuclear weapons and hypersonic missiles. Hypersonic missiles move at many times the speed of sound and 6 times faster than current missiles. Armed with nuclear weapons, they could annihilate entire cities and even countries within minutes. And we cannot let this happen. If you take a look right now, the nuclear word is being mentioned all the time. This is a word that you're not allowed to use.
Right.
It was never used during the Trump administration, but now other countries are using that word against us because they have no respect for our leadership.
Facts! Talk to him! Yes!
World War III would be a catastrophe unlike any other. This would make World War I and World War II like very small battles. The best way to ensure that such a conflict never happens is to be prepared with unmatched technology and unrivaled strength. To this end, when I'm commander-in-chief, which we did an awfully good job at rebuilding our military, we rebuilt the entire military. Once again, I will work with Congress and our great military leaders, not the ones you see on television. I don't consider them leaders. But we're going to work with them to build a state-of-the-art, next-generation missile defense shield. Just as Israel is now protected by the Iron Dome.
Yeah, y'all heard about the Iron Dome in Israel? Hold on. Wait, what? Hold on. It says Israel has repeatedly used its elaborate system of air defense to counter missiles and drone attacks in recent months. It has come under attack from Iran. So what is the Iron Dome, bro? How does Iron Dome work? Iron Dome is the best known of Israel's missile shields. It is designed to intercept short-range rockets as well as shells and mortars at range of between 4 kilometers to 70 kilometers from the missile launcher. Okay, so that's Iron Domes. Okay. All right. Now I see what you're talking about.
A dream once thought impossible. America must have...
Yeah, like defense missiles. They're like... I don't know if y'all seen that that movie Top Gun, the Maverick. They had a bunch of them, like, but they're not like, they're different types. You know, like if you go into radar or whatever, like your aircraft, the missiles like come out, you know what I mean? And come try to, you know, shoot you down or whatever. But the Iron Dome, they're like grounded, but they can like intercept like missiles and stuff like that.
Have an impenetrable dome to protect our people. We worked with...
But saying Iron Dome makes me think like, yo, is he trying to put a dome over you, America? You know what I'm saying? But like when you look it up, like...
Israel to develop that dome. They relied on us. Not just them. They relied on us. We have technology that's unsurpassed, but our past leaders haven't really wanted to use it. I rebuilt our military at a level that nobody thought possible, but we have to now go that further step.
No problem, Mr. Fix-It. Hey, sometimes I don't be knowing stuff and we all got to look it up. But shout out to you.
We must be able to defend our homeland, our allies, and our military assets around the world from the threat of hypersonic missiles, no matter where they are launched from. Our adversaries must understand that they, not the United States, will be totally destroyed if they ever dared to launch missiles against our homeland. The Space Force, which was inaugurated under my leadership, will have a very vital role to play. It was such an important...
And then Joel Station said, there are Chinese farmlands all around our bases on America's soil. How and why and who allowed this? But I am hoping that we have something that even the traitors in office don't know of. And Trump talking about...
thing we did. The Democrats fought us all the way, but we got it passed. First time in 79 years, a new force. Just as I rebuilt our military, especially our nuclear capabilities, I will build the shield to defend America from missile attack. We will have a peace through strength. And that's what we had. And we had no wars during the Trump administration.
Facts.
We had no wars. Remember that, because we were strong.
And then Demal Dyer said, guys, they made a movie called Under the Dome. We should watch it. Maybe what you thinking isn't too far fetched.
The other side knew it, and they didn't want to play games. They didn't want to mess around. Thank you very much. Joe Biden, the world has become vastly.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Is the biggest talking point.
That's my number one issue. Like, the left brings up all these other issues when this is really number one.
Yeah. Because y'all are so morally superior, but y'all don't care about people dying overseas. Y'all care about them.
Well, they don't care about people.
Yeah, that's crazy. They care about identity politics and not people actually losing their life.
That they finna send over there that's finna die too behind this. So
interesting. Very, very interesting. Hold on. I don't want to play them too much because they say a lot of bad words, bro.
Man, now you got these generals saying that this is what's really going down. I hope they just selling wolf tickets. I hope they just...
Yeah, if y'all can, like, it's a whole lot of people in here. If y'all can, like, hit the like button, you know what I'm saying, or the emojis and all that, so we can push this through the algorithm, it'll help.
You know, trying to selfie.
And I can see if y'all doing it or not. Stop playing.
It ain't really there yet.
Fox News alert now, the former commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian army making the grim declaration. World War III has officially begun as the country faces pressure from North Korea and Iran. Now Russia retaliating with new ballistic missiles after Biden gave Ukraine the green light to fire long-range attack missiles into Russia, and the UK gave their green light.
It looks like a video game with them things
so let's
coming
bring
down.
retired four-star General Jack Keane. So you see the response from Putin, an experimental intermediate-range missile. Why do you think Putin fired back like that? What's he worried about, General?
Yeah, well, first of all, Putin is really a master of psychological warfare, and in the Soviet Union and Russian playbooks, it always has been a major part of their conducting, kinetic warfare, and he's really quite good at it. I mean, look at it. He's forced the Biden administration never to give the Ukrainians what they wanted when they wanted it, and it protracted the war. So Putin keeps coming, and that's what this is all about. He wants to stop the use of ATACMS into Russia because he knows full well it already has. That can have some pretty significant impact. And certainly that's where he is, and that's where he's trying to get inside of Biden's head here and the Europeans' head.
Every time I hear ATACMS, I just think Steakums. I don't...
Yeah. Come on, bro. What are you talking about?
So in my mind, this is an experimental missile. I doubt they have any arsenal of it because it is experimental. They don't have much of it. And he's trying to use this as much leverage as he can to change the behavior of the United States and also Zelensky.
Yeah. He says the missile goes 2.5 miles per second. The world's current air defense cannot stop it, according to what we have. So that's the message he sent. So the former military commander in the Ukraine...
2.5 miles per second.
That can't be real, bro. 2.5 miles a second? Hold on, let me see, bro. Yep, he's not lying.
Soldiers from North Korea are standing in front of Ukraine. Let's be honest, the Iranian Shahidi missiles...
What? That's crazy. No, not 2.5 miles per second, 2.5 kilometers per second.
Are killing
So he's wrong.
civilians, drones. It is obvious that Ukraine...
See, let me show y'all. I mean, BBC be cap too sometimes, bro. Yeah, 2.5 to 3 kilometers per second. So
Ukraine already has too many enemies. Well, I'd say this is a world war. You feel like this is a world war beginning?
somebody said, look at the video you posted earlier, them things moving. Like, what video you talking about that I posted?
Well, I have some empathy for Saluzny, by the way, and for our audience. You know, he used to be the chief of staff of all the forces in Ukraine. He's highly respected. But, you know, you're sitting where he is, you can understand his feelings about this. I mean, he's fighting Russia, and now another nation state has come into the war to assist in the overthrow of Ukraine. And to truth be known, all the escalation talk has all been about the United States giving the green light to Ukraine to use ATACMS and moving in mines. The real escalation.
And mines. Like, United States is bugging, bro.
There's another nation fighting on the ground inside of Ukraine, inside of Russia, attempting to push the Ukrainian forces out of it. That's significant. He looks in the Middle East and he sees Russia's ally, also, who started a war there, Iran, and Iran is...
Hold on, my math off. Alexa, how many miles is 2.5 kilometers?
2.5 kilometers is about 1.55 miles.
So it could move 1.5 miles per second.
Is a tangible...
But 2.5, like, nah, but 1.5 a second is great. Bro, how can you stop that? Alexa, stop! You be doing too much. That's why, Alexa, stop! Because I don't be talking to Alexa like that, bro. That's why she be like, she be getting all like, oh, he didn't talk to me. And then she want to start giving me updates and all, like, chill. She be bugging, bro.
Provider of assistance. So from his perspective, that indeed may be the case. From our perspective, no. But I do believe we are in a pre-war era.
You said the video with missiles. So I posted a video with missiles. Where did I post that at?
Said that many times.
On my Twitter? I don't remember posting. I don't remember posting it like that.
Russia, Iran, North Korea are seriously cooperating together, and they clearly want to change the United States leadership in the world with like-minded democracies. That's why they've been so aggressive and so assertive these last three or 4 years. And German intelligence actually publicized recently. I was amazed that they put this in a public domain, and I was gratified that they do. And I suspect our intelligence agencies feel much the same. But I have no knowledge of that. The reality is...
So, ex-Ukrainian top general, World War III has begun. But it's an ex-Ukrainian. So, he's misleading people with his title. Because he said Ukrainian general says that World War III has begun. But Fox News, if you look, it says ex-Ukrainian top general.
They said that Russia fully intends, after Ukraine is finished with, to expand into Europe. And all the European nations know that, and certainly I think our country knows that. I know that as well. So yes, we're in a pre-war era. There's already 2 wars in our geographical key areas, the Middle East and Europe, and President Xi is threatening war, obviously, in the Indo-Pacific region. The incoming administration, given President Trump...
I ain't going over there, bro. I'm just telling y'all, like, what I ain't going over there, bro.
But it's hard not to read into this decision by the U.S., Vlad, to finally approve these long-range weapons for Ukraine as a message being sent not just to U.S. allies, but also to the incoming Trump administration about the importance of continuing to support Ukraine in this fight going forward.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So I hope you guys are ready for World War III, okay? Because it seems as if the Biden administration is hell-bent on getting us to the cusp of a war, a full-blown world war, before Trump gets into office, okay? Because the Biden administration is doing everything that they can to undermine Trump on the world stage and also domestically as well too at the border. And we're going to talk about those things today. Okay. The first thing I want to talk about is when it comes to foreign policy, because the war in Ukraine is escalating as North Korea apparently is involved, right? They've joined Russia and they said, hey, we're going to help you out here. Okay. We're going to supply some weapons and also some troops as well too. And they have entered the war. Okay. Allegedly. And in response to this,
a senior North Korean general wounded in a recent Ukrainian strike, Western officials say. White House has warned North Korea troops and Kursk would be fair game for Ukrainian forces. Bro, anytime anybody comes into your you know what I mean, your homeland, like they're fair game, bro. I don't need no news article to say that. If you bring tanks into my homeland, like, no, we going, it's on. You know, but shout out to Wes Butler. Yeah, hit the like button if y'all can. We got like 42,000 views on this video. Hit the like button.
Thought it would be a good idea to escalate the conflict even further by allowing Zelensky and Ukraine to use long-range weapons that are capable of
Did y'all not hear what I'm saying up in this mother? Wait up. Hit the likes. Let me get on here and talk about Kendrick Lamar or all this distraction. Y'all be hitting the likes. Y'all be like hitting the emojis and everything. Hit the likes. Let's get this video out. Stop playing with me, thug life. Thank you.
Then Russia. Now, again, this is clear escalation. And
if they playing with me, y'all, I'm not about to play no video, bro. Y'all playing, bro. They was playing, bro. Dro, you know they playing it. No, don't start hitting that. Don't start hitting the likes down. Don't start hitting the likes down. Why did I have to go crazy? I thought y'all was rocking with your boy. I'm all out of character. Alexa getting out of pocket. Not y'all getting out of pocket. Hit the likes. Thug life. Shout out to Amama Magazine, West Butler. Shout out to you, Eve. You know what I'm saying? They're members. You can be a member. Y'all can be members too. Stop acting like a Democrat. Become members. What y'all doing? Y'all trying to play me? Hit the hearts, everything. Or I'm not playing this Milk Dud Dude's video. I'm not doing it. Hit the likes. Shout out to She. Said we here. My bad for calling you a milkhead dude. Bro, shout out to you.
And what you're seeing here is what seems to be the beginning of
Wes Butler. Britt is asking how to become a member. It should say like join, like if you go to the channel, it should say join. Join the membership.
A global conflict that, again, is truly global, right? I mean, we all know what happened in World War I, World War II. All it takes is just for a few countries.
IRA Dyson, you not slick either. IRA Dyson, you should be a member too. What you doing?
To come together and for things to really escalate, for you to have a full-blown war where you have, you know, basically the world taking sides and saying, hey, let's come together and destroy each other, right? I mean, that's essentially what we seem to be on the cusp of here, because Biden wants to make it as hard as possible for Trump to actually create peace in this conflict, right? This is what they want, right? That's the whole point. The whole point.
Oh, y'all want to start y'all want to start subscribing now. How come y'all didn't subscribe like 15 minutes ago? See, y'all be playing games, bro.
President to do what he promised he was going to do, right? And you have individuals like, for example, Joe Rogan speaking out against Joe Biden and this escalation on his podcast in response to the news of Biden allowing Ukraine to use long-range weaponry. Take a look.
knowing that Trump is in office.
I do too.
I feel great about it. I just
What I don't.
Yeah, so Sheed, we here said hit the 3 dots on the right, go to subscribe, and then go to sub. Okay.
Feel safer is right now they're launching missiles
Shout out
into
to
Russia.
Yeah.
How are you allowed to do that when you're on the way out? Like the people don't want you to be there anymore. There should be like some sort of a pause for like significant actions that could potentially start World War III. Maybe that would be a good thing that we would like to avoid from a.
This is why they want to control media and control social media, bro. Because this dude's voice, Joe Rogan, if he speaks on does a show, tens of millions of people are gonna listen to him. And he's put it out there why are y'all trying to do this before the next change in administration right now? It's so clear. Y'all Americans are so smart, bro. I don't care what Europeans say about America. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are smart. Y'all seen right through Kamala Harris. Imagine if Kamala Harris would have been president. This would be going, they would extend this war for probably 4 years, more than likely. You know what I mean? You see what they're trying to do now. They don't want to end this war. Them Democrats, they don't look like they want to end it. Does it? It don't look like it to me.
A dying...
And she's a puppet. She would just get up there and just smile in your face. Meanwhile, the administration is continuing to press Russia.
President.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole thing is nuts.
Look, I don't know shit about politics.
Zelensky says Putin is terrified. F you, man. F you people. You fucking people are about to start World War III.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Russia fired a missile today.
I feel
I like that he said that. Forget you people. You people are about to start World War III, bro. We know what's going on. Don't nobody want war? Hey, Joe Rogan, say it again. I talked to Joe Rogan one time in my life. Shout out to Joe Rogan. Thug Life. This before he got famous. You know what I'm saying? And I got the screenshots, everything. Thug Life. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad to see where he is. He used to interview battle rappers and stuff like that. I'm glad to see where he is right now. And it's good that he's speaking out on this.
Oh man. F you people. You fucking people are about to start World War III.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Russia fired a missile today.
I feel they fired an intercontinental ballistic missile for the first time ever. It's the first time one of those has ever been used.
Wow.
It's insanity.
Fucking insanity, because those intercontinental ballistic missiles can have nukes on them. This one didn't, but if it does, the whole world changes, and it changes because of the military-industrial complex, and it changes because of the money that's going to Ukraine, and it changes because the outgoing president or whoever the fuck is actually running the country has decided to do something fucking insane.
This is insane. I gotta react to it because it's Joe Rogan, and he with the Spotify. You know what I'm saying? So you got to extra react to him. Shout out to Joe Rogan though, man. Played a very important role in helping Trump get elected. Yeah, why are they doing all of this right now? Before the next president can get in there, is that presidential? Biden, you not really thinking you gonna be living in the United States when Trump is elected? Would you want to edge us closer to war? Well, he old. He don't know what's going on. But that administration, y'all still gonna be. I mean, a lot of them probably got enough money to leave America if it really go down. But what are y'all doing? Don't you want it safer here for your family? Zelensky is just. He need the United States money so bad, he not even thinking. Zelensky cannot be thinking right now.
Fucking insane. And we're all sitting there watching it, and people are cheering it on. CNN was saying, finally, see what their headline was about Zelensky about Biden giving Zelensky the ability to use long-range missiles. U.S. made long-range. It's not like nobody knows where they came from. It's not like nobody knows we've been funding this. It's a proxy war. The whole thing is fucking insane. It's insane.
Bro, Black conservative perspective, you didn't muted all those bad words. You couldn't catch that one. Come on, bro.
Come to the negotiation table. Sit down. Work this out. Stop killing everybody. U.S. allows Ukraine to use long-range missiles. So what did they say? Someone had said that, CNN was saying that it was a good thing, which I think is how has the left gone so far crazy that they think it's a good thing to...
Yo, and then like you talk to left-wing people like in real life and they cannot like they don't even understand like what's going on. They still like trying to support like like this is crazy. This administration is literally out of their minds.
Terrified. God damn.
Pro-Ukraine liberals and conservatives, because there are conservatives out there that are pro-Ukraine, okay, that are pro, this war or whatever. I'm still trying to figure out, what is y'all end goal, man? What is y'all end goal, right? What is y'all end goal when it comes to fighting this nuclear-armed country who clearly is willing to bring in other countries as well, too, to help fight on their behalf, right? Clear escalation. And you guys do understand the final point of escalation.
Deontay Kennedy is a member in here and said, Thug Life and like, share, and join the membership. Shout out to you. Emma, my magazine said Joe Steele in the rainforest.
Right? The final point of escalation is a nuclear conflict. Is that what you want? Right? You want a nuclear conflict?
Bro, intercontinental, like, ballistic missiles, like, what are... Bro, like travel like 1.5 miles a second, 2.5 kilometers a second. That is insane, bro.
I think that's what y'all want to do. Why? Because it's cheap. It's a cheap way to kill Russian soldiers, right? To punish Putin's military, right? Because that's really the only argument I've heard from these individuals. Well, this is an easier way and a cheaper way to weaken the Russian military without the U.S. having to directly fight.
Yeah, they are gonna like be weakening the military. Like they are doing that. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna keep, have to train people, send them out there. But what's interesting? Like Russia is making like portable nuclear bunkers for their citizens. I think that's interesting. We reacted to a video, like, like the news on that. So that's crazy. Like they taking that real serious. And I think they house like up to like 53 people like in one bunker. And then they got like another side that's got like showers and stuff like that in it. I mean, they look kind of interesting.
Right. Let's just use the Ukrainians. That's their only argument. But they can't tell you what is the end goal. When does it stop? When does it become too much? When do we say, hey, you know what? This ain't really worth fighting.
But the United States, I think, is mad about that Gazprom deal. It was like a $500 billion deal over the course of like 30 years or something like that, to where like Russia was going to like sell its natural resources, I think gas or something like that, to China, and then they were going to use a membrane and not have dollars be used. Like, so I mean, I think America is still upset with that. And then remember, like, when oil was cut off to Europe. So I think this is their way of like punishing Russia right now.
Let's try to get some peace. Let's save some Ukrainian lives. Let's save some money. Let's save some of our weapons that we're giving away to Ukraine that for whatever reason.
And I don't understand why the Ukrainian people are not like, okay, like Zelensky isn't a problem. We need to get somebody in there that can help resolve this conflict.
Liberals believe justifies being.
I just don't like, I don't think Putin is the problem, bro. I don't think he's a problem at all.
Falling debris sparking a fire, but did not inflict any danger or any casualties. Neither side's claims could be independently verified by the Associated Press. The announcement came after Biden did.
Yeah, y'all subscribe to the Officer Tatum. Hit the like button.
Authorize Ukraine to use those U.S. supplied missiles to strike deeper inside Russia, easing limitations on the longer-range weapons after Russia deployed thousands of North Korean troops in the conflict. Earlier on Tuesday, Ukrainian officials reported a third Russian strike in 3 days on a civilian residential area in Ukraine that killed at least 12 people. That includes a child. The strike by a drone in a region.
It's crazy, bro.
incensing to me. And I don't know why we continue to do it. Let me get to another story that I think is absolutely mind-blowing to me, and that's the story of Pete Hegseth.
That's a dope Trump hat, though. That is.
And these accusations against him. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it appears that women are using the power of the P to destroy people's careers. It is often entertaining to me, yet saddening, that when a person gets in a position of power and authority, that person has to worry about a random woman that they may or may not have slept with coming out.
Yeah, I can't IRA Dyson. Yeah, when I get off I'll look at that. But I can't play that on here. Like otherwise, like it'll limit the monetization. On a brighter note, we got Jordan Peterson is on Piers Morgan show. Let's listen to what he got to say. Yo, he be this is why I be scared to go like a Piers Morgan, bro. Look how he would have you in that thumbnail, bro. Yeah, he will cook you in these thumbnails, man.
Uncensored.
Hi, Piers. Nice to see you.
I'm going to get to your book a little later, and it was utterly gripping, fascinating, challenging, all the things I'd expect from you. But before we move on and then come back to it, the reviews have been almost comical. Like, people love you or they hate you so much they want to rip you to pieces. Do you?
No, Jordan Peterson will like you. People will be talking to him, and the next thing you know, he just start crying, bust out. Yo, shout out to Jordan Peterson, though, bro.
Care or because I get the same. We call it Marmite over here, which is a savory thing you put on toast, which people either love or hate. Do you care, or do you just want people to be reacting?
Well, look, I mean, if you have any sense and people are paying attention to what you're doing, you're happy about the fact that they're paying attention to what you're doing. And then whether the attention is negative or positive, I suppose that's the next thing up on the agenda. And it's been a pattern through my life that people have that kind of reaction to what I'm doing, you know. And luckily in my actual life, day to day, in the real world, virtually everybody I meet is pleased with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson. You don't know who Jordan Peterson is?
And so that's wonderful. The reviews, as you said, have been comical. I was reading the Times review today.
Oh my God!
It's like
he hates
James Marriott. He just hates me. Oh my God! He just hates me. Yeah.
Oh, what really got him? What I loved about that review was he was clearly it was eating away at him. That the last time one of your books came out, he said something positive that you then used in the marketing for the book, which is obviously what we all do as authors. And he was so determined this time you couldn't do that he wanted to address that right off the top. Right off the top.
Yeah, well, I did do it, though. I did do it. I tweeted out something today that I culled from his review to make it look very positive. So I thought that was hilarious because it wasn't easy. Crazy ideas. And I'm fascinated to see what he might put in place. And I would say the same thing about Ramaswamy. Like Ramaswamy's establishment of the Strive Fund was brilliant and daring. And we have brilliant and daring people in government. And that doesn't ever happen. And God only knows. I don't even know if it's a good thing under normal circumstances, because I think under normal circumstances, you want competent administrators running your nation.
Bro, there's no way you don't know who Jordan Peterson is.
But we're not in normal times, far from it. And so I'm, like I said, strapped in, waiting exactly as you pointed out, waiting for the adventure of this administration. Yeah, and everyone's sitting there thinking, "Oh my God, what's going to happen?"
He's like an author. Isn't he like a psychologist? He's like a psychologist, author, and like public speaker or whatever.
Next.
Yeah, good.
I think he's like Canadian.
We should be thinking that because we should be thinking out of the box because conventional thinking hasn't got us very far. I'm always mindful of one of my favorite quotes in sport was Wayne Gretzky, a fellow Canadian, of course, the greatest ice hockey player that's ever lived. And his quote was simple: "You'll miss 100% of the shots you never take." Right? I mean, simple as that.
Right.
I mean, that really is, to me, that's the difference in life between a certain type of person and another, is that certain people in life, they just take the shots.
Right.
And they don't mind failure. You know, Elon Musk is going to see it all.
I'm one of them, like, I don't mind failure. Like, you know, it's better for me to just stay in the bubble of entertainment, like battle rap and entertainment. But I'm like, no, I'm talking about politics. Like, if I fail, I fail. If I get 20 views, I get 20 views. But this is what I feel like talking about right now. And then you see, like, the videos do better than entertainment videos. So, you know, like, you just never know, man. You miss 100% of the shots that you never take.
His rockets.
And not every video I make is going to hit. Some of them will be like probably 500 views. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, like, it's just worth a try.
Into the ocean until he gets it right. But the thrill of the dare, of the adventure, of all of it, you know, again, we'll come to this with your book because it's one of the big themes. But I do think that I feel like it's invigorating right now. It might be slightly dangerous and it might take us off on weird places and it might not all work. But I do feel the scale of ambition is going to be invigorating.
Yep, amen to that. Definitely, that's exactly how I feel. And I also, you pointed out with regards to this book, that one of the definitions of God in the biblical library, in the story of Abraham in particular, is that God is in fact the voice of adventure. I mean, whenever people are discussing religious matters, one of the first questions that arises obviously is, well, what exactly is it that you're speaking of? What's your conceptualization of God? What constitutes the divine? And you could say the divine is the pinnacle of ambition or the foundation of reality. Those are both good ways of looking at it. And
Evelyn Ivy said, I graduated from God.
One of the answers in the biblical text is that God is the call to adventure. And that's definitely the case in the story of Abraham. And the idea there, which is an unbelievably deep idea and also one that works biologically, is that the full expression of the spirit that takes you beyond your zone of comfort and out into the terrible world is the same spirit that makes your life a blessing to you, that makes your name renowned among other people and for good reason, that helps you establish something of lasting value, and that does that in a way that brings benefit to everyone. And that's actually the deal that God offers Abraham in response to his willingness to embark on a life of adventure. And I think all of that's true. I mean, one of the rules I had with this book, Piers, was that I tried not to offer any explanations of the biblical text that weren't also fully justifiable from a scientific perspective, and usually from multiple different orientation places on the scientific side. And so why wouldn't the spirit of adventure take us out into the world in the most glorious possible?
I mean, I got my people are not gonna like this. I got my reservations about Jordan Peterson, though. I don't think he's as smart as people think. I mean, I know he's a psychologist, you know, he could, you know, whatever, but like, I think he kind of just rambles a lot. Like, I be rambling. Like, I feel like he rambles a lot. Like, he's not like he's not like a Sam Harris, a Christopher Hitchens or something like that. You know what I'm saying? He's not one of them. I think they try to hold him up there like that. I mean, even though it's different, like he talks about different things, but like the way I mean, he's smart. I just don't think he's what people be saying, bro. I think he all right. I think he rambles a lot, bro.
Manner. Like, what the hell else would it possibly be for?
Yeah, I agree. The other part of this, which is fascinating for me, involving you, subliminally.
I don't care where he graduated from. Like, when I listen to him talk, I feel like he just died.
Is that you've become this kind of heroic figure for millions of young men who felt totally disenfranchised from society. And I remember the first time I interviewed you in my studio, and you got quite emotional talking about them and how you felt responsible to them and how many of them would come up to you. Literally.
I do rock with him though, but I don't know. Maybe I've been listening too much Christopher Hitchens, because Christopher Hitchens and Sam Harris is like on a whole different level.
In the street come up to you.
But I do like that he's like, you know, making you know what I mean? Like young people like own their masculinity. You know, but at the same time, he be crying and
sort of save their lives in many ways. And what we've seen here is, I think, in what they're calling the broligarchy, which I love, which is the bros, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Joe Rogan, RFK, Vivek. They're all.
But I did want to, I think it was like last year, I almost went to one of his, not a seminar, it's like a little concert thing that he was doing. Like, I almost went there. But, you know, I mean, I rock with him. Sometimes he rambles, but sometimes he's got like really good points.
Bros. And they're the broligarchy. Is that you saw so many young men, whether they were white young men, black young men, Latino young men, but millions of them gravitating to vote for Trump because they bought into this general sense that finally there were a group of people here who were going to make you not feel ashamed of being a man, who were going to say that there's something great about being masculine, not something to be, you know, to be shirking away from because apparently it's all toxic. That these are men in the old-fashioned.
And this is another reason why I feel like Trump won. Like, people are tired of anti-man culture in America. Like, you're like, I'm a man. Like, you cannot, bro. Like, when everything seems to be anti-man, you can't, the party that be pushing that, like, you can't really get me to vote for you at that point. I'm a man. Like what you doing? Like, nah, I'm not voting for you. Like, y'all already don't like us.
Sense.
Look at like all the liberal media. They be talking about men like we ain't nothing. Like, nah, bro. We built the country, roads, bridges, everything. Like, don't be talking about us like that, man.
I'm very curious how you feel about that because you've been at such a
Alan Watts,
vanguard of this. How do you feel about the broligarchy and the impact it clearly had? I mean, may well have.
Deadeye say he is absolutely a rambler, but man, I could listen to him forever.
Won Trump the election.
Well, I don't think that the care that I've taken, let's say, with regards to young men is any different in its essence than the care I take with my son. You know, I like my son. I want the best for him. I think he's great. I encourage him all the time. I like to see him move beyond his zone of comfort out into the world. And then I have all these young men who have been listening to what I've been saying, who are doing the same thing. And it's the best possible thing. I mean, I had a show last night in Westbury, in New York, and afterwards I usually meet somewhere between 60 and 100 people, and many of them are young men, and they come to the show very dressed up, you know. They often buy suits to come to the show, and they're like standing up, and their shoulders are back, and they're looking distinguished, and they've got ambition, and they're thrilled to death because they're doing something worthwhile. And, you know, they shake my hand and they say, you know, thanks for the help. And
yeah, it's
that's
powerful.
Great.
It's powerful.
It's great.
Yeah, and
it's great, man. It's great.
Yes, and I remember the first time I interviewed you, my sons wanted to come and watch that interview. First time. They wanted to be in the room with you because you had had that impact on them. And that I found remarkable too, that you have this real visceral impact on young men who've been really in the last 10 years floundering for their identity and what is acceptable and not acceptable, and what it means to be a man, what it means to be masculine.
Yeah, well, I had a good father, Pearson. My father, he died recently. He died about 3 weeks ago, and he was very tough man, very.
Maybe that's why he's
Hunter,
like shooken up. Cause he seemed like he about to cry, bro. Cause his father ended up passing. Maybe that's enough to. I mean, my father, like, you know, wasn't nothing. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you had a good father, you know what I mean. Maybe that's why he's like shooken up like that.
A trapper, a deadly shot, and man with very high standards.
Craig Wilson, chill out, man. Like, yeah. I mean, I don't know. All right. Can I be real with y'all? Y'all hit the like button, bro. Y'all ain't super chat me at all. Y'all don't even like me, bro. But like all this, y'all be saying like he's super masculine and all, bro. When I be seeing this dude, man, he be crying and crazy emotional. Like I've never seen a man this emotional in my life, bro. Unless he was one of them, you know what I mean? Like I've never like this dude is like mad emotional. Like what man like got, bro? Like you're a psychologist, bro. Like why are you so not in control of your emotions? Like I've never heard anybody say that, and I'm not trying to like go in on it. I mean, you know, if you're emotional, you're emotional. You know what I mean? I ain't got no problem with you, but it's just like he ain't what people be marketing him as. You see what I'm saying? Like he's smart, very good philosophical points, and you know what I mean? I like that he's leading like, you know, men to be comfortable like being a man, but he be like he a crybaby, bro. Like he be crying like way too much, bro. Evelyn obviously said, I didn't want to say nothing. I didn't want to embarrass him, but you did. Evelyn, I'm not trying to Yo, but he dude be crying, bro. Dude be crying. I've never cried like that much in my life. Like there's like 2 times I cried, right? That I can remember. Like since I was 18, right? No, 3. One time I cried, my mom died, right? So I cried, and that was like a couple years ago, whatever. I cried when that happened. I cried like uncontrollably for like a couple days. Like that messed me up, bro. I mean, I'm lying. It was like a couple hours, you know what I'm saying, in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like I cried when that happened. Another time I cried when my child's mother like took my daughter like and moved to another state. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And I was like, what? Not because of her. It was just because she just took my daughter like that. You know what I'm saying? So and I took her to court and I got custody now. Thug life. I got custody. Nah, nah, nah. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, nah, nah. The judge didn't like that she did that. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. I got custody. So I ain't mean to be petty, but I got custody. Nah. But I mean that and that, and like other than that, like what else did I cry? I think I even cried my grandmother died. Like I don't like, but this dude be like every little thing he be crying, bro. Like, hey Jordan Peterson, did you walk down the street? Yeah, I walked down the street. I went to Starbucks. I got a like, bruh, that's how he be.
Very encouraging. He was really good at that. Really good.
He crying again, bruh. I tried. Jordan Peterson, man, I'm trying, bro. Maybe because I'm from the hood, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, bro.
Good with little kids, and you know, it's a privilege to play that role for as many people as possible. There isn't anything better than that. And, you know, I think you're right about the fact that that spirit has been kindled around Trump. And, you know, what's so cool to see with Trump is that he's accepted that. He's proved himself willing to share the stage with all of these other remarkable people. And even in some ways, I wouldn't say to fade into the background, because Trump isn't exactly your fade into the background.
Yeah, I know Kenneth Cole. Like, I know, but I mean, he still cry a lot, bro.
Sort of guy. But, you know, the fact that he's invited so willingly these other participants, all of whom are high status people around him, also, to me, put to rest any concerns I had about any pathological narcissism on his part. I mean, obviously, Trump is a very effective self-promoter, and there's something in that that's a real skill. But by the same token, you know, he has RFK, who's a force in his own right. He has Musk, Ramaswamy, Vance. These are formidable people. Tulsi Gabbard as well. That's not the sort of person you surround yourself with if you're a toxic narcissist. That's someone. Those are the people you surround yourself with if you're out on a quest. And
exactly. Let me see what is he? Is he Democrat or Republican? Let me see. Dr. Jordan Peterson and his daughter. I think I thought he was a Democrat. Like what? Hold on. It says Jordan Peterson, conservatives have allowed education to become woke beyond comprehension. But he might be, I don't know.
It's so cool to see this. It's so literary. It's absurd.
Jordan, I was going to come
Jordan Peterson's Conservative Manifesto.
to your dad, because one of my producers discovered that your father had died several weeks ago and found an obituary. I don't know whether you wrote this obituary. One of the family did, and it talked about dad. So it's one of the three children.
Yes, I wrote it.
It was you. I thought it was. Because I read it and I found it unbelievably moving. I was going to leave it to the end, but since you've mentioned it now, first of all, my deepest condolences on losing a
Yo, they sniping that person, ain't they?
remarkable man. I mean, even if I didn't know the connection, I just read this about somebody, I would think what a remarkable life he had. He had 3 children, 4 grandchildren. He was a great-grandfather to 4 more. He grew up in Norway in a log cabin.
He'll never come in here again, at least not with that account.
But then, as you said, he lived outdoors, shooting, hunting, bird watching, trapping, cross-country skiing, canoeing. And he was an enthusiastic collector of single-shot rifles. I love this detail, that he loved their simplicity, their design and craftsmanship. More importantly, he loved the precision of these rifles. And he liked the fact that a single-shot rifle only allowed for 1 bullet as a hunter, dead center. And that epitomized to you the care and attention that he put into his work. And he was a beautiful gunsmith and craftsman.
I mean, he's a Canadian, so he can't really be a Republican or Democrat.
These things. And then became a teacher and was quite a tough disciplinarian. You say he could be fearsome. You know, acting up in Wally's class was not the world's best idea. And as a result, there wasn't much trouble
No, that
there.
was definitely true.
But he loved kids too, and he was great with them. And as I was reading all this, I was just thinking, wow, okay, I get it now. I get where Jordan has got all this from. There are so many parts of your dad's character in you, clearly. I mean, do you feel that? When you wrote this obituary, did you feel?
Bro, don't. Hey, Piers Morgan, bro, chill out, bro. You gonna make him cry, bro. Piers Morgan is trying to make this dude cry, man.
Feel that really quite intensely.
Well, you know, you pointed to that detail with regards to these rifles. Like, my father had 300 rifles. This was a real obsession, and he was a very good shot. He was a provincial level shot. And it took me 30 years to figure out why the hell he collected those guns. I don't think he knew. And I told him 5 years ago, I said, Dad, I figured out why you're so obsessed with rifles. I said, it's because you want to hit the target dead center with 1 shot. And that's...
Hey, Kenneth, yeah, Piers Morgan trying to get him to cry, bro. He instigated, bro.
It's like it's a symbolic representation of your aim in life. And he thought about that. And my dad wasn't particularly metaphysically oriented, and that was an explanation he was entirely satisfied with. Right, and you know, the word sin means to miss the mark, right? It means to miss the target. And that's acted out in this, it was acted out in my dad's life in this relationship that he had with guns. And he, as a hunter, it was the same thing. He hunted with a single shot rifle. You got 1 shot, you got 1 chance to hit the mark. And he was very dedicated towards that kind of precision. That was part of what gave him that rough edge. He had very high standards. He's a very encouraging person. He believed that he imbued me with the belief that I could do anything I set my mind to, but that didn't make him someone who was easy to please. Quite the contrary. It was a very remarkable combination.
You said Dad had the force of nature about him. He'll be greatly missed. That force of nature, was it a sense also of that adventure that you talk about so much in the book? Was he an adventurous man?
Well, he was adventurous in his outdoor life, I would say. You know, my father was a tough man, and so he was the fire chief of the local town as well. Oh,
that's your father, man. Shout out to your father, though, bro.
Oh, it's so much fun.
I thought so.
I can see.
Oh my God, bro! Like, he cried again, bro. Like, I'm not. He cried again, man. Come on, bro. Piers, what is you doing, man? You got him quivering? What's up, Marsha Mara? Like, Piers Morgan is dirty, bro. You know he gonna cry over every little thing, Piers. Chill out, man. Oh, man, bro.
Asking questions.
Yeah, well, hasn't changed much. I think I remember mostly when I was a little kid reading with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that was great. That was so much fun.
I thought so.
I can see how.
I don't mean my bad, y'all. We got it's okay to cry like if you lose your father and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jordan Peterson. He just be crying all the time for everything, bro. Like this is okay. You know what I'm saying? But Piers Morgan like started this, man.
Moved you are, Jordan, understandably. Obviously,
Piers, you always make me cry when you.
You know,
Piers, bro. Come on, Piers, man. Leave this dude alone, man.
I knew you might get emotional about this. And I wanted to leave it to the end. It just, when you brought it up, it was so. I found the obituary so powerful, and I said to my producer who found it, "This looks to me like Jordan wrote."
How you doing, Marshall?
This, and we didn't know, and it's just so beautifully written.
And he brings all the sons.
I'm trying to fast forward it, y'all.
In and he says to his son Ham, who laughed at him, he says, because you have no respect for your father, your children will be the servants of slaves forever. And this is a very interesting curse, because what it means is that if you fail to respond to...
Bro, he a strong dude, bro. Like, I'm gonna say this. You know you about to have millions of people look at you and you sitting there crying. Like, you don't care what nobody think, you know? So I'm gonna give him that. Like, yo, he is a strong dude. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't be crying like that. If I know like 2 million people about to watch me, like, nah, bro. But he emotional. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man.
What your ancestors...
Evelyn Ivy said I cry in secret. Like, yeah, man, I ain't about to be like, oh, like, I ain't about to be doing all that, bro.
Ancestors offer you, your father, let's say in particular, with gratitude and love, then you will fail to embody the spirit of your ancestors, and your children will, in consequence, become the slaves of servants. And that's exactly right. It's exactly right. And so...
Yeah, good luck with that, Marsha. Like, hopefully that, like, they can, you know, do it without any complications. Just, I know it's going to be tough.
it was interesting to watch my wife, develop extreme gratitude for what her father had offered her. I really liked, his name was Del Roberts. I really liked Del. He was a bigger than life character, something like Trump on a smaller scale, bombastic.
I don't think he really saying nothing though. I think this is, what is this? You're not stopping me, Jordan Peterson on Trump. He's not really saying nothing, bro.
And entrepreneurial, and that spirit.
And then like this segment is like, does Peterson believe in God? Like what? Like what? Come on, Piers Morgan, bro. Like this is a waste of time.
Is antithetical to the founding of this nation and antithetical to our great founding father, George Washington, who warned in his last declaration to the American people as he was leaving office, do not get embroiled in foreign entanglements. It's the destroyer of nations.
Okay,
and we've seen it with the British Empire.
Benny,
Piers, sorry. We've seen it with the British Empire. We've seen it with every empire that has existed, with the Roman Empire, all the way through. And I think we should follow these wise words. And
one final point to you before I go to the others, which is, if a deal was done and Putin got to keep the land he's stolen, along with Crimea, and his next action is to go and invade Poland, just as Nazi Germany did in 1939. What should America do in that position, given that Poland's part of NATO?
Again, that would be suicidal for Russia because Poland is.
Bro, y'all trying to play me, bro. All y'all. I got 79,000 views on this video. Hit the like button. We should be close to 100,000 by now. Y'all is playing with me. Jordan Peterson got y'all up there crying or something. Y'all wiping y'all tears. Hit the likes. Stop playing. Hey, listen to Emma. Emma telling y'all, Emma Magazine telling y'all, hit the likes. I can see it. Y'all ain't slick.
Part of NATO, and then they would.
But what should America do?
Well, Article 5 would be enacted.
What do you think morally? What do you think morally America should do in that eventuality?
I will
Marsha been hitting. Shout out to Marsha.
have to leave it. I'll have to leave it up to the military minds. Some of them are on this panel. What I'll say this, and this is my stance permanently, Piers, which is that an ugly peace in the Ukrainian war, an ugly peace, and virtually in all situations, an ugly peace is better than a hot war.
Okay, I find it strange that you wouldn't say, obviously, you got to kick him out of Poland. Let me go to Jake Bro, U.S.
Well, that's what Article 5 would be. Article 5 would be an attack.
No, I know what would happen. I know what's supposed to happen. I was curious what your moral view of it is, given what you said earlier. Jake Bro, U.S. Air Force veteran, thank you for your service. Obviously, I know you don't agree here. I am genuinely, it is very surprising how the politics of this kind of thing have changed so dramatically. It would have been unthinkable 30 years ago to have a conversation with conservatives on the airways where they would talk this way, I think, about this. I'm not saying, by the way, that Benny's wrong, and I'm not saying he's not right, that a lot of Americans agree with him. But how do you feel about it?
Conservatives really had their act together in the George W.
Another thing, too, right? Y'all know it's really weird. So I'm a troll. You know, like people come into this chat like trolling or whatever. Like I'll be trolling too. You know what I'm saying? Like when I be watching people's videos, I troll. I can't really do that no more. I didn't know like when you get like, so you know, like YouTube verified this channel. So I've got like a check mark on the channel, right? And so what, let me see if I can show y'all real quick. Hold on. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Where's the, okay. So look, you see like over here on the right side, you see like all these channels got like this check, the check right there on the side. So when so my channel, like it shows up like that, right? So when you end up commenting on somebody's channel or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I be trolling and all that, but when you end up commenting on somebody's channel, it's like a check mark, like by the comment. And I don't know, I feel like it kind of just like make it easier for them to see you or whatever. So I was trolling like some big channels, bro. And then like my phone like lit up and I got notifications that they like responded back. I'm like, oh, I can't troll no more. I can't. Like, so that freaked me out, bro. I'm like, oh, okay.
Bush years, right, everybody?
Right. Yeah, I mean, what's your view of this?
They were really great back then.
So, Piers, I'm going to defer to your former UK Prime Minister who stated this week
No, we're not even talking about Jordan Peterson no more.
that there's this segment of the Republican Party that has a weird homoerotic fixation on Putin. They love his tough guy image. They love his tough guy politics. Doesn't appeal to me, but it does appeal to a certain segment of the Republican Party.
Wait, what? What did this do?
Defer to your former UK Prime Minister who stated this week that there's this segment of the Republican Party that has a weird homoerotic fixation on Putin. They love his tough guy image. They love his tough guy politics. Doesn't appeal to me, but it does appeal to a certain segment of the Republican Party. And to bring up the neocons and what happened 20, 25 years ago, I didn't support the Iraq War. I was 19 in 2003. And I'm firmly in support of this war, supporting Ukraine, because this is a generational fight. History is repeating itself. All the claims that Putin is making about Russian speakers in the Donbass region and past territorial claims, it's the exact same argument that Hitler made in World War II, going into the Rhineland and then Czechoslovakia, and of course...
Why'd I be throwing that word neoconservative out like that? So neoconservative is a political movement which began in the United States during the 1960s among liberal hawks who became disenchanted with the increasingly pacifist Democratic Party along with the growing new left and counterculture of the 1960s. Like, why are they always saying neocons?
First, Poland. And the other panel member talking about America First, we had an America First movement in 1938, 1939, 1940 to keep the United States out of World War II. I don't want to go to war. I don't like war. But sometimes democratic nations...
You said the next guy goes off. Which one?
...aren't given a choice. What is happening today has never happened since the advent of nuclear weapons. A nuclear-powered state has said...
I gotta get in touch with this dude from Value Entertainment. Like, y'all know who? Like, cause he be having some good topics, bro. I just gotta make sure that I can react to this stuff. I gotta get in touch with him.
This territory used to belong to us. We want it back. Give it to us because we have nuclear weapons. This is not something the Western Alliance or the international community can tolerate. Nuclear states talking
Hey,
about...
Kenneth Bobbier, I mean, you ain't lying. I see what you're saying like that. I mean, them Kamala men.
Historical claims saying, give us back territory that once belonged to us. Otherwise, we're going to nuke you. Day 2 of this full-scale invasion, and we just went over 1,000 days. Day 2, Putin raised the equivalent of his DEFCON, saying, don't help Kyiv. Don't give any assistance, otherwise we might use nukes. And for 1,000 days, they haven't used nukes because they can't. I can lay out the arguments why, but this is not tolerable because it'll never end. If this works, it will embolden dictators around the world, the first group who already have nukes, to start talking about historical claims because they know the international community is not going to stop them. And any dictators that want to go and get back historical territory, they're going to want nukes. And for any smaller country who doesn't feel defended by the international community, they're also going to want nukes now because the United States, France, UK, the democratic countries that have nuclear...
What do y'all think about this dude talking right now? Y'all rocking with what he's saying? I'm not.
Weapons are not going to help them.
Okay.
They're not going to defend them.
Okay, let me go to Scott, because you've literally written a book about this. Provoked, How Washington Started the New Cold War with Russia and the Catastrophe in Ukraine. There's no doubt, when you look at the full history going back to the start of the 90s, it's complicated. There's no doubt. It is a complicated history. It's not clear-cut. It's not simple, I don't think. A bit of American meddling in there, a bit of Russian meddling. Everyone's meddling around in Ukraine. I think the theme of your book, though, is that very much that...
Hold on. Deadeye said, yeah, once you're in that YouTube group, you are done, bro. What do you mean? He said you can't talk S-word about any other people that YouTube makes their money off of unless it's making them more money. What are you talking about?
Russia was provoked into waging this war. Why do you say that?
Well, of course it was. It was American meddling, as you say, going back really to the end of the last Cold War, as I document in the book. And I would object to sort of the way that you paraphrase it earlier in the show, that I think you're implying that I would argue that Kiev brought this on themselves, as the subtitle there says, Washington is the one who brought this on.
I wasn't talking about you directly there, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's okay. I just want to clarify. And I'm not arguing either that they gave the Russians no choice, because I think they had lots of choices to do this. That still doesn't absolve the responsibility of the Americans. And basically, to sum it up, it's broken promises on NATO expansion. It's missile defense systems installed in Romania and Poland in violation of the Founding Act of 1997.
Dude, y'all letting this Democrat like run y'all right now? Like, what is y'all doing, bro?
1997, and it's essentially an American-backed side in a long-term civil war that's going on in the country after America overthrew the government twice in 10 years, in the Orange Revolution of 2004 and the Maidan Revolution of 2014, because the wrong guy kept winning the election. And as the Americans said over and over again, and I document it as thoroughly as could be, we are taking Ukraine away from Russia. This is not allowing Ukraine to be independent. This is America forcing the issue. And as everyone on this panel knows, the status quo in Crimea held from 1991 all the way through 2014, until America overthrew the government there for the second time, and the new government—
America did not overthrow the governments. You can look at the crowds.
Oh, shut up, man. You know what? We heard—
Like, when somebody catch you up, like, he like, oh, shut up, man. Like, oh no, bro. He caught you off guard with that. He said, shut up, man.
1991 all the way through 2014, until America overthrew the government there for the second time, and the new government—
America did not overthrow the governments. You can look at the crowds.
Oh, shut up, man. You know what? We heard your piece. They immediately threatened to kick the Russians out of the Sevastopol naval base. Only then did the Russians change the status quo on the Crimean Peninsula, which, by the way, belonged to Russia since the 1780s. Since before—
First of all, like, he got a pop filter on that microphone that's way down there. You don't need a pop filter on your microphone unless the microphone is like right up on your face. That's like a useless pop filter right now. Like, what is this dude doing, bro? Like, oh man.
For the American Constitution.
So did Alaska. Should we give Alaska back?
Anyway, this guy's an idiot, but if you—
like, come on, bro. Like, you don't have to use ad hominem attacks and stuff like that. Like, he's liberal. I ain't really rocking with his political beliefs, but hey, you can't just like use ad hominem attacks, bro. Like, use, you know, your vernacular. Figure out how to defeat him that way.
Did the Russians change the status quo on the Crimean Peninsula, which, by the way, belonged to Russia since the 1780s, since before the American Constitution was
So did
even—
Alaska. Should we give Alaska back?
Anyway, this guy's an idiot, but if you want me to keep talking with you, Piers, I'll happily
finish your point.
This guy says, I'll tell you what, with this guy talking about, oh, we just have to help them win. That's what they said for 20 years in Afghanistan. We just have to help the Tajiks and the Hazaras and the Uzbeks crush the Pashtuns. And once we're done, it'll be great. We can't sell them out now. We can't leave now. And then what happened? Hundreds of thousands of people killed, and they lost anyway. And everyone knows it's in the Wall Street Journal. It's in the Council on Foreign Relations Journal, Foreign Affairs. Even Richard Haas, the former president of the CFR, has a new piece in Foreign Affairs saying, give it up. We know that there's nothing America can do to help Ukraine retake the Donbass, Zaporozhye, Kherson, Crimea. They can't, unless you want to call in the B-2s and the B-52s and the U.S. Navy, at which point we have a general war. So the war is lost. So this guy can—
Who's bringing out B-52s in 2024, bro?
bloviate all he wants about how, no, it would be wrong to turn our back now. The Russians haven't even launched a full-scale mobilization in their country. This is a police action to them, while the Ukrainians are already running out of men, and Jake Sullivan is demanding that they increase conscription. That is slavery. On behalf of a war, we're looking at antiwar.com today. We have the
Russia
headline.
has conscription.
The majority
Is
of
that slavery?
Ukrainians want to negotiate. There's your democracy for you. The majority of Ukrainians know that what I just said is true. Even Yulia Tymoshenko a year ago said it's time to negotiate.
Okay.
This guy's a fool.
Okay, well, before I go to General Kimmett, again, I want to just get Jake to just respond to that, because you're a fool, apparently.
Well, according to this guy, democratic revolutions are never possible. We had one in this country in 1776.
What are you talking about? I didn't say that. Why don't you argue with something I said, you dumb bastard?
Yo, he is losing it.
Wow. Okay. You got some anger
I didn't say it was
issues, man.
never possible.
Yo, what? Like he tried not to laugh. That is funny, bro. Hold on. Can we rewind that? Hold on.
You're a fool, apparently.
Well, according to this guy, democratic revolutions are never possible. We had one in this country in 1776.
What are you talking about? I didn't say that. Why don't you argue with something I said, you dumb bastard?
Wow. Okay. You got some anger
I didn't say it was
issues, man.
never possible. America spent $100 million to overthrow the government in Ukraine.
These guys
That's
on
not
this
a
panel are
democratic
arguing that the
revolution.
people of the former
That's
Soviet
Barack
republics
Obama
have
and
no
Joe
right to
Biden
self-determination.
overthrowing the government there.
They're saying that as soon as
Give me
Putin
a
installs
break.
a strong man in any of these countries that remains corrupt and loyal to him, change is never possible. Viktor Yanukovych was not killed. He was not imprisoned. He fled. He fled back to Russia. He fled back to his masters. And in my opinion,
So
when you're the
what does that have to do
president
with
of a
anything?
country and you
Because
flee
America
the country,
spent $100 million
you gave up your power.
overthrowing him. Look, man.
Okay, so if I'm being serious here. I genuinely want to understand the conspiracy that the United States is behind the color revolutions of these Soviet
you've never heard
republics.
of the National Endowment for
Because
Democracy, huh?
when Russia invaded, why did we offer them a ride? Why the delay in tanks? Why the delay?
Yo, he got all these movies in the back, books in the back. It says provoked. That's the perfect one right there, provoked. Because he feels provoked right now, bro.
Delay in HIMARS? Why the delay in Patriot systems? Why the delay in F-16s? Why are we just giving approval for ATACMS this week after one?
They slowing the video down. Hit the likes! Somebody doing it right now. Shout out to somebody doing it. Stop playing. Hit the likes, bro.
1,000 days of the war, if the conspiracy always was the United States was trying to separate Ukraine from Russia, that we're trying to install a CIA-backed government or whatever. I don't understand this conspiracy when we haven't done everything to fully support Ukraine.
Okay,
Can
let
you
me.
explain
All right,
this to
let
me?
me.
Because I don't understand.
Okay, let me just time out for a second. I want to bring in General. I want to bring in General Kimmett. I'll come back to you, Scott.
Well,
I
he
promise
asked
you.
me something, Pierce, so let me answer it.
Okay.
Look, you're completely mixing up what I said about 2014 with then questions about 22. Clearly, as everyone on this panel knows, they announced repeatedly in the New York Times and the Washington Post in March and April of 22 that the purpose of the war now is to prolong it for the strategic weakening of Russia. So no amount of the weapons
Russia
you
can
just
stop
named,
this war at any time. Russia's
no
weakening
amount of the
themselves by
weapons you just
Moving forward said, why are democratic men so feminine?
continuing this war.
No amount of the weapons.
I think a lot of, I don't know. I don't want to say that. Like, I'm not saying that all of them are, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, like in the hood, you know, like the father's not in the household a lot of time, like probably 90% of the time. So dudes is like Tupac was like that. So like for real. And I think it's because the fathers are not in the household because the Democratic Party kind of, you know, with the Section 8 and like all them like governmental services, whatever, like they don't they kind of don't want the father in the household. And so you need like man energy to kind of mold, you know, the kid to be like kind of manly, you know. And so, I mean, I don't know, man.
Weapons you just named would have turned the tide at that point.
Okay.
But if you're just raised by a woman and that's it, you probably gonna have those characteristics.
Of Russia. So no amount of the weapons
Russia
you
can
just
stop
named.
this war at any time. Russia's
No
weakening
amount of the
themselves by
weapons you just
continuing
named.
this war.
But he trying to act like Vladimir Putin is not being like, bro, come, U.S. is making this a worse situation, you Democrat, bro. Like, come on, like acting like you don't know that. Like Joe Biden is further escalating things, man.
No amount of the weapons you just named would have turned the tide at that point.
Okay, let me
But
bring
the
in.
Biden administration decided to trickle the weapons in, as you correctly described, in order to keep the war
But you're
going.
saying-
All right, let me bring in
bankrupt
General
Russia.
Kimmett. I want to bring in General Kimmett now. General Kimmett,
Oh, yeah,
a lot
you
of
don't
people have.
understand.
Hang on,
That's
Scott.
why-
Let me bring in the
that's
others.
the same reason they backed
there are
the
four
Mujahideen
people on
in
the panel.
Afghanistan in the 80s.
Scott, let me bring in General Kimmett. He's been waiting very.
And bleed them to bankruptcy.
Who's this dude? This dude's funny, bro.
Do
Scott,
you
I will come
understand?
back to you.
Have you seen Rambo 3?
There are
It's
four
the
of us
same
on the
thing.
four people on the panel.
Union?
All right,
You want
guys,
the Soviet Union to
please,
still
time out.
exist?
Time out,
You're
please.
so stupid. Give
General
me a break.
Kimmett, thank you for your patience.
There's
A
no
lot
one
of
more
people are very
anti-communist
concerned, General
than you.
Kimmett, about the possibility.
Like
of
even he's laughing right now, bro. Like I'll be cracking up, bro. I can't. He hard to stay mad at.
developing into a nuclear conflict. I've never understood that because every red line that's been crossed in this war, of which there have been multiple Putin red lines crossed, he's not done anything, despite threatening to use nukes all the time and his people threatening to use nukes all the time. I don't understand why anyone thinks he would use nuclear weapons, given the establishment of MAD, mutually assured destruction. Why would he press a button that leads to his instant death?
Yeah.
Am I misguided? Am I naive?
Right.
Or is that the military view too?
Well, let me give you the other
Somebody said the crazy guys, right? Yeah.
side of the argument. It doesn't matter what I believe, but the other side of the argument to argue against your point would be that Soviet military tactics and their doctrine always permitted the use of tactical nuclear weapons, artillery-launched nuclear weapons on the battlefield if the country of Russia was invaded. There is a legitimate doctrinal purpose for using artillery-launched nuclear weapons once they went into Kursk. I mean, you're talking about a nuclear weapon that really isn't much more than about 5 or 6 155 rounds hitting the ground at the same time. So my view would be doctrinally, Putin has an argument to make. His country has been invaded. His doctrine says use nukes if we're invaded. Now, whether he will or not, I think, is a different story. As has been mentioned a number of times so far, we've allowed ourselves to be self-deterred throughout this war. You ask, I don't believe that your guest that says we're doing this intentionally to bleed out the Russians by giving dribs and drabs of equipment to the Ukrainians so that we can go on a killing spree for 1,000 days at this point. I would simply say no administration is that smart and no administration is that stupid. I've sat in the National Security Council Situation Room and heard the arguments that are made between the State Department, the Defense Department, and the President and the National Security Advisor, and the notion that they would be sitting there in some Dr. Strangelove-like situation, wringing their hands or wrapping their hands and saying, let's bleed these guys out for a couple of years because that's good for America. I did not see that in my years in the Situation Room, and I'm surprised.
Yo, he politely just killed him, bro. Yo.
That anybody would think that this government is either that smart or that stupid.
And before we go back to hang on one sec. Hang on.
Can I address that real quick?
Hang on.
Can I please address that?
No, I'm going to come to Benny in a sec. But I want to ask General Kimmett before we go to Benny.
Well, but he was remarking on something I said.
I know, but everyone must get a fair chance to speak. Before I go to Benny, Benny's point is that everything has changed in America. That a lot of
why everybody using my microphone, bro? This liberal dude, like, why they got my microphone, man?
Republicans who would have endorsed a lot of those, as he put it, the neocon wars, and I opposed the Iraq war as editor of the Daily Mirror newspaper here very vociferously and helped lead a march for 2 million people through the streets of London. Tony Blair went against the will of the people, as far as I'm concerned. But his point that really Republicans are driving this movement in America, they're just sick and tired of fighting other people's wars. And that actually there is a real shift in will that is becoming much more insular in America. And I've heard it said that America's fought wars for the last 60, 70 years and barely won anything. Because, what do you call a win? What do you call victory? And a lot of them have been a massive, gigantic mess, whether it's Vietnam, whether it's Iraq, whether it's Afghanistan. So I can understand why people like Benny are like, we're done with this. What do you feel, General, before I go to Benny, what do you feel about that from a military point of view?
Well, first of all, we do what our nation tells us, unless it's illegal or moral. But what I would say is let's not forget the second.
Mitchell said, hashtag Joe Rogan. Marsha Mars said, yes, we are. Mitchell Gaddis said, the guy in the middle is placed there strategically. He makes you look left and right. Yeah.
Can go for 99 senators on both sides of the aisle out of a Congress of 100 senators voted for the use of force in Iraq.
What's up, Steve?
Now, they were clutching pearls and wringing their hands about 2 years later when it didn't turn out the way we thought it was going to. And one can argue about why that happened, whether it's poor intelligence, poor tactics, whatever. But it's not just the Americans the Republicans that either want to start war or stop war. It's really both sides of the aisle. And I think both sides of the aisle will say, look, America is willing to fight a war that's an existential threat to the United States of America. But these optional wars, we shouldn't be rushing to war just because there's somebody pointing a gun at either us or our allies. There ought to be a higher bar, the Brzezinski rules that we used to talk about before we start putting American sons and daughters into combat. And we seem to have lowered that bar.
End up coming back. It says It says it's reconnected now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody. Somebody said, what's good, bro? I don't know if y'all can see me. It says reconnected successfully. I don't know. I think I might have hit the router, bro. It said, Piper Boy, what's good, bro? You said you're gonna. Oh, yeah. After I looked up your salary, what you talking about? Hold on, shout out to you, bro.
No, I just think.
But yeah, but I'll end up coming back tomorrow. You know what I mean? I got some stuff I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? My girl over and everything. So, but shout out to everybody. It is what it is. Come rate, subscribe. Let me. It looks like we got like 91,000 views on the video. You know, it's late. You know, so the traffic is slowing down. But shout out to everybody. I appreciate everybody for support. Emma, you know, I appreciate you as always. Everybody, Mara, I appreciate you coming in. KR, appreciate you coming in. All the mods, everybody that's been, you know, rocking with me. Kenneth Cole, everybody that's been rocking with me. I'm out. Come rate, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about that. Peace.